Welcome back. I mentioned in the first part of the four occurrences of Isigie's reign, four occurrences that characterized the reign of Esigie, who was on the throne from 1504 to 1550. First part had to do with the Queen Mother. This time it's Imaguero, a very beautiful woman. She was so beautiful, she was considered to be the most beautiful woman in the kingdom. She was stunningly beautiful, and she had a great, she was regal and quite enchanting. She was a sight to behold, very gentle on the eyes. Imaguero's beauty was such that it created a great deal of stir in the kingdom. Whenever she took a walk in the evening, in the cool of the evening, down the streets of the kingdom, you find children, men, women, you know, going, running to the windows or into the doorway just to catch a glimpse of Imaguero, who walked with feline grace. You call her, she would be best described as poetry in motion. Children look at her with innocent admiration, men with unbridled lust, and women with naked envy. She was so beautiful that from time to time you find pregnant women intercepting her in the street. Imaguero, touch my tummy, rub my tummy, so my baby will look like you. And some going beyond that and say, rub your face on my stomach, so my baby will look exactly like you. They even offer her gifts. Of course, sometimes she accepts them, but most importantly, she obliged all of this without aplomb. She took everything as stride. It was quite flattering to have this much attention. And of course, she was even a lot more popular among young teenage girls between the ages of 13 and 16. And they even had a special moonlight game in honor of Imaguero called Imaguero Beauty Game. Sometimes they're up to 30 in number, young teenage girls, but there were 5 girls, first cousins, who led this group. Also, the rest looked up to these 5 cousins. Their names were Itoha. Some friends call her Ito, then you have Echo, and then you have Sosa, some call her Esigie, and then of course Adaze and Uwawo. So they led the group, and then they take turns in playing the part of the goddess of beauty. So let's say, for instance, in a given night, Itoha will play the part of a goddess of beauty. She sits on the log of wood and passes for a throne, and then holds a stick that's supposed to be a scepter, and then she has a crown in her head that they formed from twigs and some parts of some things in the forest to make a crown. And then they take turns, the girls, take turns kneeling down before the goddess of beauty and say, give me something, I want something, there's some parts of Imaguero, I want to be as beautiful as she is. And then she says, okay, the goddess of beauty say, what do you want? And they say, I want to have legs as slender and as beautiful as Imaguero's legs. Then she touches her with a scepter and say, your wishes, so be it. And then another one will come, I want to be as beautiful as Imaguero. Yeah, how? I want Imaguero's face. Wow, her face, yes. So men will fall at my feet. So the game gets frenzied and it reaches a fever pitch. And then the 5 cousins take over, say they want to disclose Imaguero's source of beauty. So you have Adaze, for instance, who comes before the goddess of beauty. She kneels down, and then everybody gathers around. I know why Imaguero is so beautiful. Okay, go ahead. What is it? She was made on a good day. I say, yes, we know. Okay, what else? They are not. Maybe this time it is Echo. She goes on her knees before the goddess of beauty, played by Ito or Itoha. Go ahead, she touches her with the scepter. Yes, go ahead, tell us, share with us the secret of Imaguero, source of Imaguero's beauty. Well, it's because she was going to be born in this kingdom. They said. And then she's the youngest of them. Now in a very tiny voice, I know. Okay, then she comes at 6th. knees before the goddess of beauty. Go ahead, tell us, child. Touches a woman with a scepter. But God said it was because she was created on a day. Then suspense. Yeah, what day? What day? What's so special about that day? She was created on a day that the Almighty God, Osanubua, was in a merry mood. Then they erupt in excitement, and they're clapping and laughing. And, so it was a very, very popular game, like I said earlier, among teenage girls, young teenage girls. Now, Imaguero's beauty even caused a stir in the palace because her husband, the Oliha of the Benin Kingdom, was completely obsessed with her beauty. He was so obsessed that he was known to disrupt palace proceedings when Oba Esigie was holding court with his, palace chiefs. There were several occasions where, just one of them is we have two women who would fight over a piece of land, two widows fight over a piece of land, each claiming, that was left behind. It was a heritage from, it was a property belonging to her husband's family. So that before the king for this dispute to be settled. And then the dispute was, the Oba was already talking about how best to resolve this, and then you find Oliha jumps up, comes to me, goes up, touches the women's hands, and look at your hands, all calloused. Imaguero's hands cannot look like this. My Imaguero, the beautiful Imaguero, you all know who I'm talking about. Her palms are soft as cotton, and her skin as smooth as silk. Then you see, one of the chiefs, he said, he has to put Oliha. That is all of drawing his attention to the fact that you are in the presence of the king. Oh, I'm sorry, Your Majesty. I'm sorry, Your Majesty. Goes and sits down. The Oba looks at him. His patience was beginning to wane. And then there was another occasion where a couple, husband and wife, the husband dragged his wife to the palace, he needed the king to resolve a family, problem, so to speak. So the king, mainly because the husband was accusing the wife of infidelity, and so he was going into it. He didn't have any strong proof. And then Oliha jumps up in the middle of this and infidelity. Oh, you are not even half as beautiful as my Imaguero. So why will you not be? Why will you not be faithful to your husband? Infidelity. When the Oba said, now Oba Esigie had enough. He said, Oliha, are you sure? Of course, Your Majesty. Oliha, are you sure that your wife will not cheat on you, will not be unfaithful? Oh, Your Majesty, Imaguero cannot be unfaithful to me. I give Imaguero anything she needs. My Imaguero. Okay. So that was it. The king had enough. So he made up his mind. He was going to set him up. Or set up Imaguero, depending on how you look at it. I'll continue in my next posting. So, to keep track of what the Oba Esigie's reign and all of this amazing, interesting, and compelling, occurrences, subscribe. So touch the subscriber button. So by the time the next post comes up, you'll be among the first to know. You'll be notified of the next postings, so that you wouldn't miss any. You don't miss out of it. So subscribe. Oh, by the way, like this video, and of course you can share. Right? So see you next time. Remember, subscribe.